সবাইকে স্বাগতম আমার IELTS এর ৬ নম্বর ক্লাসে। এটা হবে কিউ কার্ড নিয়ে। আর মজার কথা হলো এই ক্লাসে আমি আপনাদেরকে কিছুই পড়াবো না। আমি যেহেতু এটা কিউ কার্ড নিয়ে ১ম ক্লাস, আমি কিউ কার্ড নিয়ে আরো ১টা ২টা ক্লাস নেওয়ার চেষ্টা করব। অনেক ভেতরে যাওয়ার চেষ্টা করব। কিভাবে আপনারা কিউ কার্ডে ভালো আনসার দেবেন। কিন্তু আজকের ক্লাসে আপনাদেরকেই সব করতে হবে। আমি আসলে কিছুই করব না। আপনাদেরকে যা করতে হবে তা হলো আমি IELTS এর রিয়েল টেস্টের মতো কিউ কার্ড যেভাবে আনসার দিতে হয় এরকম খুব ভালো একটা সোর্স থেকে অস্ট্রেলিয়ান নেটওয়ার্কের পাসপোর্ট টু ইংলিশ এই লিঙ্কে গেলে পাবেন। অস্ট্রেলিয়ান নেটওয়ার্ক তারা IELTS নিয়ে কাজ করে এবং ইংরেজি অন্যান্য জাস্ট বিজনেস ইংলিশ অথবা অন্যান্য ইংরেজি নিয়ে তারা কাজ করে। তো ওইখান থেকে আমি ৬টি স্যাম্পল ভিডিওস আজকে আপনাদেরকে দেখাবো এবং শেষের দিকে আমি IELTS স্পিকিং এর টোটাল স্পিকিং এর জন্য ইংরেজিতেই কিছু টিপস এটাও আমি আরেকটা ওয়েবসাইট থেকে নিয়েছি। এগুলো আপনারা আজকে দেখবেন। তো আপনারা যেটা করবেন আজকের কাজ হলো আজকে জাস্ট আপনি এই ভিডিওগুলো দেখে জাস্ট একটি ধারণা পাবেন যে কিউ কার্ডটা আসলে কি জিনিস। আমি চাচ্ছি প্রতি ভিডিওতেই ১ম এ আপনারা নিজেরা এক্সপ্লোর করুন আসলে এই জিনিসটা কি। আর এক্সপ্লোর করার জন্য আমি রিসোর্সটা দিয়ে দিচ্ছি আজকে। আর এর পরের ক্লাসগুলোতে আমি খুব ভালো করে কিভাবে আনসার দেয়া যায়। এছাড়াও আমি চিন্তা করছি যে আমি SoundCloud অথবা অন্য একটি ওয়েবসাইট আছে সেটা আমি আপনাদেরকে পরে দেখাবো বা পরে বলবো। আমি ওইখানে আমি নিজেই আনসার দেবো অনেক কিউ কার্ডের এবং সেই স্যাম্পল গুলো আমি রেখে দেবো তাহলে আপনারা দেখতে পারবেন। কিন্তু আজকের কাজ হলো আপনারা এই ৬টি টেস্টের কিভাবে আনসার দিয়েছে সে ৬টি রিয়েল টেস্টের আনসার কিভাবে দিতে হয় এরকমই প্রায় স্যাম্পল টেস্ট এখানে আপনারা দেখবেন এবং এর পরে শেষে একটা আপনি পুরা স্পিকিং এ শুধু পার্ট 2 না পুরো স্পিকিংটাকে কিভাবে ভালো করতে পারেন সেই রকমও একটা অ্যানিমেটেড ভিডিও আছে। সো তাহলে আমরা আসুন দেখি ভিডিওগুলো।
Talk about the most popular sport in your country.
The most popular sport in my country is badminton. It is popular because it can play it by 2 to 4 players, so it doesn't need a lot of people to do it, and it only takes a small space, unlike soccer, where you need a bigger space to play it on. The funny thing about badminton is that instead of using balls, they use the shuttlecock. The shuttlecock is like a little ball, but had feathers stuck onto it. Basically, the game is similar to tennis and volleyball. Badminton was introduced to Indonesia by the British. It was actually a game from India called Puna, and the game was popularized by the British before it came to Indonesia. Sudirman Cup is the international tournament for badminton. It is held every 2 years, so the next one is going to be held in 2009. I think the last country that won the cup was China, and they had it for several tournaments in a row. Before that, I think Indonesia has won several cups itself. I don't play it often, but when I played with my friends just for fun. So we only need to use a street outside my house, for example, and we don't need to actually use the net. So we use some kind of trees or anything that can divide it between me and my opponent. You need to get a lot of practice on a very wide range of topics. Don't just think about it. You need to practice it.
Describe your most valued possession.
My most valued possession is my mobile phone. It is important because it contains not only the phone numbers of my friends and family, but also their information such as address, date of birth, um, their likes and dislikes, hobbies. So it contains a lot of things. I got my first mobile phone about 10 years ago, and since then I have changed 5 times. I use my mobile phone mainly to listen to the music and play games. Well, apart from communicating with my friends and family. If I have spare time, for example, waiting for someone, I often play games on it. It can browse internet and then it can download games, music, anything that I like from the internet. So that's why I love my mobile phone so much. I'm too dependent on it. I cannot live without it. So, for example, if I go out and I forgot my mobile phone, I have to go all the way back home and pick it up. I can get it personalized. For example, I can download screensaver and then put it on whenever I feel like it. So, for example, if I'm feeling happy, then I put on my bright colored yellow or flower theme for my screensaver, and whenever I'm not in the mood, I just put on black. Get used to speaking on a lot of topics for 2 minutes.
Talk about the wildlife of your country.
I'm not really experienced in talking about wildlife. I've been living in the city all my life, so I never actually seen a wildlife myself. There are many interesting animals in my country. There are orangutans, Komodo dragons, Sumatran tiger, and then birds such as peacock and cendrawasih that can be found in Irian Jaya. Cendrawasih it's a small bird that has like a peacock but a smaller size. So their tail has a very golden yellowish color that stands out in the dark, and their body is most of them are brown and black color, so their tails are really standing out even in the jungle. My favorite animals is orangutan. Orangutan actually mean men of the forest. Orang means men and utan means forest. The orangutans and the Sumatran tigers, and of course the Komodo, are all under threat. That's because their habitats are decreasing rapidly because of human activity. For example, in Borneo, the population of orangutan is decreasing nowadays because all the forest has been cut down, whether for illegal logging or for opening a new farming land or just because of bushfire. The best thing to do is record yourself and listen to yourself. Then check your grammar. Good luck.
What's the most important celebration in your country?
In my country, most important celebration would be Chinese New Year. Normally it's between January and February, depending on the Chinese calendar. And usually we'll have fireworks and lion dance because we believe that both of these things will chase away the bad fortune from the past year. There's a lion costume with very colorful and a lot of decorations on it, and there will be 2 people controlling the costume. And what we do is we hang a lettuce on our roof, on the ceiling of our house, and there will be a little scroll hang under the lettuce. So the lion will have to jump up and eat the lettuce, and the head, the guy that controls the head of the lion will untie the scroll, and the scroll will drop. And usually there's something good about good fortune or good health written on it. During Chinese New Year, we'll go visit our elders, and all the relatives will go to their house and have a gathering. Normally the adults will gamble and they play a game of mahjong, and the kids will just get around, play video games, or go down to a park, kick a football. And then at night we'll have a huge feast, and with a huge pot with all kinds of food in there. Towards the end, you feel very disappointed because it means at the end of the holidays and go back to school or work. And yeah, but it's a great atmosphere during Chinese New Year. Just talk about your personal experience. It would be easier. Good luck.
Tell me about your country's education system.
Well, the education system in India, I would say, is very developed, but then again, it varies according to the rural and urban sectors of society. But most people who come into middle class bracket, they send their children to school, and they start early at kindergarten stage, and they go through the 1 to 10 classes, then 10 plus 2, and usually most people finish a graduation degree in India. I would say the standard of education in India is very high because there's a lot of competition, and almost every student and every parent want their children to do some graduation and post-graduation and do higher studies. And even at school and at college, it's very hard to get admissions into bigger and reputed colleges, so there's like really a lot of competition, and you'll find many students getting more than 90% out of their 100% score in the exams. So yeah, there's a whole lot of competition and people are really gearing up for it. I would say the friendship that we make when we are in school are the strongest ones, because that's when we are most impressionable and we really get to know each other very well, and we're like honest and sincere. Yeah, most of my friends right now are from school, and I think because I've grown up with them and we've built such strong relationships, my students and my teachers that I studied with will be a very important part of my life. Try to think of what you're going to say beforehand, because a good conclusion makes a really good impression. Good luck.
Describe a wedding that you've been to.
Well, the only wedding that I was really closely observing was of my sister's. It was a very eventful day that day. We just started early in the morning, dress her up in the traditional sari and wear all the golden jewelry. We use a lot of gold on weddings, so just wear a lot of golden jewelry and flowers in her head and everything. We just took almost 2 or 3 hours just to decorate the bride, and then we went to the main ceremony where the bridegroom also comes along, and then we have a lot of holy rituals happening where you perform some kind of rituals around the fire, and then you exchange garlands, and then you kind of shower each other with rice and other interesting stuff and funny stuff. then we have the lunch happening when everyone sit together and eat. But the very interesting part is the bride and the bridegroom don't get to eat till the end of the day. They kind of are fasting on that day, and it's very difficult on them because they're wearing all these heavy clothes and they're sitting through all the rituals and they can't eat and they watch everybody else eat. In the evening, what happens is that the bride is traditionally taken to the groom's house. So usually it happens in a car these days. So in a car, we took my sister, me, and the bridegroom. All of us, we went to the groom's house. Yeah, that's when the ceremony actually ends. So it's a long day. Get used to talking for about 2 minutes because then you would know how long 2 minutes is. So you can adjust your answer accordingly. Good luck.
Hello, I'm Michael from studyielts.co.uk. In this video, I'm going to give you 5 essential tips for getting a great score on the IELTS speaking test. Number 1. Answer the question. The most important piece of advice is very simple. You need to listen to the question and answer it. You shouldn't try to give a prepared speech or talk about a different topic from the one you are asked to discuss. You need to give full and relevant answers to the examiner's questions. If you don't know much about a topic, talk about something related to that topic, then explain the connection. Number 2. Remember your verb tenses. You should try to use the correct verb tense as much as possible. A clue to this may be in the question being asked. In part 1, you may be asked a question such as, what subjects did you like at school? The question uses the past tense, and your answer should use the same tense. Number 3. If in doubt, ask. If the examiner asks a question that you don't understand, ask. Asking for clarification will show evidence of your communication skills. If the examiner uses a word or phrase that you don't understand, say something like, sorry, but could you explain what you mean by? Or, I haven't come across that expression before. Could you explain what you mean? If you simply didn't hear something that was asked, respond with, excuse me, I didn't quite catch that. Could you say that again? Or, I'm sorry, but would you mind repeating that? Number 4. Be professional. Take a serious and professional approach to the exam. Arrive in good time and smile as you greet the examiner. The IELTS speaking test is not a true dialogue between two people. It is more of an interview with one person speaking and the other listening. Relax, be confident, and enjoy using your English. Number 5. Practice, practice, practice. This may sound obvious, but I cannot overstress the importance of speaking English as much as possible before the exam. Find someone to practice with, ideally a native speaker, or try recording your voice and listening back to it. I would also recommend that you make sure you speak only English on the day of the exam.